Hey, Anton here from GT Canada. Today I want to talk about back button mods on your PlayStation 4 controller. So I've got a couple examples here of back button mods that you can buy, and I want to review the two and tell you which one I personally prefer and the one that I'm using now still. So you can see there's two separate mods here. This one is the Collective Minds StrikePack, and this one is the official Sony PlayStation mod. Now the first thing that you'll notice, I'm going to put these on the controller so you can see what I see. So the first thing you'll notice with this one is just the sheer girth of these buttons. So when you're holding it, the buttons are actually quite fat, and so it creates a bit of a strain. I don't know if you can see my muscle tweaking here in order to pull that. See that? Now eventually I'm sure I'll build up the muscles to do that, but if we compare to the other one, so this one sits a lot more flush and has a much better feel to it, and the position is just better overall. See, that's more kind of at the side versus this one, it's really kind of on the bottom. So with this one, I find it's just a lot more natural to just pull that, and my arm's not strained as much. It's just more natural to pull it. Plus they do make longer triggers here that can come out even further if you prefer, and these are actually replaceable. They're just held on with a magnet, and then the switch is just right inside there. You can pop that on and take it off easily, and you got two buttons there. On the front, this one is fully customizable. It allows you to enable certain hacks and cheats with this one. So it's not simply button mapping. So you can have these buttons mapped to any button, single button, or combination of buttons. There's a lot of great things you can do with that. Plus you can turn on auto recoil, rapid fire, and that sort of thing, which will make a huge difference in your first person shooter gaming, which is where these buttons will really shine for you. Whereas these ones on the PlayStation legit one, they're strictly button mapping. And there's a little screen here. So you can see I've got X and square mapped on mine. So I map this one to X and this one to square. And I find that works really well for the loadout that I'm using. It does have an extra headphone port here, which allows you to use your headphone jack still. And the Collective Minds one also has it. Probably the biggest disadvantage is this one has to be wired, which means you have to be connected. So for this to work, you need a micro USB cable plugged into there, going to your PlayStation for this one to function. So that can be a drawback if you are not near your controller. So it is a drawback if you're too far away from your PlayStation to be able to use this controller just on its own or just with the cord. So you will have to consider that. If you need to be wireless, this is a good mod for your controller. The comfort in your hand, I don't enjoy it, and I find it cumbersome. I don't feel that I would ever get used to it. Plus, if you're into competitive gaming, you can use the competitive option on here, which disables all cheats and hacks, so it's strictly for button mapping, but it does allow you to be wired, which will give you a faster response time than if you were wireless. So wireless introduces a bit of lag. It's measured in milliseconds, of course, but every millisecond counts when you need to get the drop on somebody. Overall, which one would I take? I'm taking the Collective Minds one, and that's the one that I'm going to use as my daily driver. The other one's good for going over to a friend's house where you want a wireless one and you're not having to connect to their system. You just pair it up and then you're good to go. That's what my recommendation is. The price is roughly the same. This one's a little bit more expensive right now at around $50 Canadian, versus this one was, I think, $37. So it's really $10 difference. It doesn't make that big of a difference, but it will make a difference to your gameplay. I'd strongly recommend having it if you are into first-person shooting games, because having those extra buttons there to free your thumbs up definitely has a huge advantage over not having it. I hope that was helpful for you. GT Canada Lifestyle. Check us out. Be sure to like and subscribe. Comment below. Check out some more of our videos here, and hope to see you again.